Okay, well, as evidenced by that noise, this does indeed still have discharge of CFC 12. The last time this thing ran, it tripped the RCD, which I think is 60 milliamp or 30 milliamp RCDs, I don't remember. So I did it exactly as it was done from the factory, kind of. We just have to make sure that when we're playing with this, we have to make sure that we realise, although it's semi-shrouded, this is old technology. This is as good as it got in the first place. This isn't dodgy stuff I've done. This is how it was done. In fact, this is better than how it was done. Now, where that capillary tube enters this bellows assembly on this thermostat, if you flex that more than about 2 times, you'll break it in half. Be very careful. Try to, if you're gonna have to remove it, make the entire length of that capillary tube for the thermostat take up the movement. And what I should have done, which I didn't, was, if I can get the phone round, is remove these screws from the inside of the evaporator to free up that capillary tube. Now, earthing. This is the original way the fridge was earthed. I did clean up the ends of these terminals. I'm going to add another earth. That is the end of this earth that I'm going to add. He says while grabbing it, while, you know, saying it's an earth. I mean, that is hooked up to, as I showed in a video I shot, I'm not going to edit. This is bonded to the front of this. It was not originally. It was relying on too many things, so I thought, well, I'll bond it. So that's going to be bonded, okay? I'm going to heat shrink and solder this. He says still while touching the earth that he just said is there to protect it. Anyway, so I did not wrap this around the compressor wiring. The compressor wiring is here. It's too long. Now, the reason why they wrapped the compressor wiring with this earth is to stop it from, as you can see, vibrating. Now, I'm obviously going to have to probably disconnect things and... yeah, okay. This has been held on by tar. This is, you know, it just says okay. I'm going to sit this here because it was originally on top of that compressor. And I don't like the idea of it being able to vibrate off. The cabinet light wiring, as I said, it needs heat shrink. Electrically, this wiring's fine. It's soft, supple, it's got no cracks. I'm not changing. I'm not pulling it apart just for that. This unit is under test. I'm not going to leave my tools in here because they're going to be extra chilled. So, other things to note, the grommets, well, not grommets, the covers that go over these compressor terminals were stuffed. Now, the problem is all of those terminals are live, including the start terminal. So, the start terminal is not being energized. Once the compressor gets up some speed, the load on the run winding lessens. That is what the load through a relay coil via the run winding is what pulls in the start winding contact. When the compressor gets up to speed, the load massively drops on the run winding. And that causes the magnetic field to weaken and a spring basically to push up the contact away from each other. So if that doesn't happen, by the way, it will destroy the compressor because this is not designed to be constantly energized. But the point I'm making is that green wire is supposed to be white. So let's just all pretend I'm not doing things that you're not supposed to do. There's more clearance there than it looks. So that green wire is your white wire. There's the start winding, but because it's a motor, even though it's not being powered, even if you cut that wire through, you'll still get electrocuted if you touch it because there's rotating magnetic field and an armature in there that's rotating around. So This thing hasn't run for a while. I mean, that's not bad. Like, it's not like this got turned off 2 weeks ago. The last time you guys saw it running in videos, however many months ago or whatever, or that's the last time this ran. Because not long after that, it started tripping the RCD. So, the other thing of note is that the contact for this start contact set, there's not much left. I mean, they're pretty sad. The cords are too long. I need to pull, well, I don't know. I mean, I need some cable management, as they say in IT land. So, yeah, I can't just leave it sitting on top of the condenser, which I'm getting nice heat rejection. So if we go into the other side, I'm going to pull my tools out because I don't really feel like tools that are chilled. Now, anyone else got one of these screwdrivers? This is the most, like, if this was Phillips head, damn, Stanley would have killed the opposition dead. This is a fabulous thing to have. I never use the ratchet mechanism, but it looks really cool. So let's pull this out. I'll take some photos of this after I get the horrible kinks that I'll maybe even draw this out better. I have labelled the terminals, but I'll draw it out so it's more clear. And I'll write the fact that you're looking at it from the underside. So, we'll just stick this shelf back in, which, yes, I need a gimbal, a tripod, and a camera person. I've got a lot coming. This thing is running extremely well. I mean, remember, this fridge is like, well, I don't know. I mean, my wife says it's probably late 30s to early 40s. It could be early 40s to mid 40s. I mean, this fridge is ancient. Like, it's a 1940s refrigerator that's running. I mean, if that doesn't blow your mind, you're not that easily, you know, you guys are, sorry, hard to impress. But I'm assuming you're not. So remember that yeah, we're getting a nice frost pattern already. I did make sure it was grounded. That's an accumulator. It's a suction line accumulator. My hand is going nowhere near the back of that thermostat. And if you own a fridge like this, around the back of there, if you're going to reach up, this is probably going to kill you. If you're that worried about it, design some kind of cover to go over it. That just keep in mind it'll probably get frosty eventually and become conductive anyway. So the temperature's controlled via here. Sorry. This is the suction line. This goes back to the compressor. So you can see it goes over the top, over the back. Yeah, that's a suction line. I can't really show it. Oh yeah, there you go. So that line there is, it's this line here. It goes down to where the T-stat is, the thermostat. This is evaporator temperature controlled, this compressor. It goes to an accumulator there to make sure that liquid never goes back to the compressor. If I go back to here, these things are very quiet, they make no noise whatsoever. Like this is running. If that bloody ute ever buggers off, you'll hear it running. I mean, I'm sure I can clean this stuff up a bit better than that. Isn't it beautiful? This thing's amazing. These are all tight. Look, as it's been pointed out by a mate of mine, David Allen. I'm not touching these, I'm nowhere near them, just don't freak out, safety YouTube police. These terminals, be very, very careful when you undo them. And see, they have a large nut. Use a backup spanner on it. Do not allow the whole terminal assembly to spin in the compressor, because a lot of these early fridges have a rubber seal. No, I'm not going to spray this down with soapy water while it's energized. I'm going to leave this running. No one here's going to go near it, and I am very soon going to put some kind of material around the... I don't know, I'm going to have to make some kind of rubber boot. Maybe it's just going to be a cover over that part of the compressor in general. But I can get the cover and put it on the front here. I'm going to do that. Well, thanks for watching.